Go.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I am Sean.
And I'm Catherine. And as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
How'd you like that new hyped up intro?
It really threw me off for a second, but
that's kind of the goal.
like it.
Yeah. You know, when people are listening, they're going to be like, whoa, he's all jacked up. I should get jacked up because life is worth getting jacked up about. Mm-hmm. That's something I always say.
Motivational podcast this morning.
Motivational?
Motivational. Sorry.
Motivational podcast today. And today we're going to be talking about quite a few super interesting, super high impact stuff, things.
Oh, yeah.
Couple high impact stuff things.
Yep.
About businesses.
Words are working today.
Oh, it's just everything's firing on all cylinders and it's really just going so well so far. But this whole week, you know what it probably is? I've been talking on the phone all week.
I know. You've been talking a lot.
Words out. So we did all of the design consultations this week, and it really reiterated the importance of doing these design consultations and this whole design process on our terms, not their terms.
Yeah.
We set up how this is going to work. We do it all over the phone initially. We have pictures of their space, and it's not only saves so much time, it's also way more effective.
Yeah.
Because I can just sit there. I don't have to be looking at them politely and, nodding along. I can just look down at my notebook. I can take notes. I can do all that kind of stuff. I can close my eyes if I want and just imagine things.
Just envision it.
So I think there's a lot of cool stuff we can go over about that because it's been a whole year since we've gone through this whole process, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a fun week.
It has been a fun week.
Did you have fun?
I had a fun week.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week. It was a pretty good week.
I didn't participate in the phone calls, but I did listen to most of them.
You did listen to most of them, and now you are fully ready to do them all on your own because I did start to realize, I'm asking a lot of the same questions. I'm doing a couple of same jokes.
Yeah.
There's a couple good jokes in there that we'll get to that are always crowd pleasers.
Oh, yeah.
Always crowd pleasers there. Another thing that we're going to touch on today is benefits for employees, because I just got done today setting up our 401k contribution plan.
Yeah.
That's for retirement.
Oh, that's what that's for?
Yeah, and I think you can't withdraw it until you turn 401 or something.
I think that's it.
I think that's how they came up with that number. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay. Well, first of all, what are we drinking?
We're drinking Red Bulls. Can you tell? And why? Why are we doing that?
Because it is 9 a.m.
It's 9 a.m.
Sean is going on a nice, lovely vacation this weekend.
To Lancaster.
To Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Amish country.
Yeah. What are you going to do there?
Well, it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Yeah, you planned it during a hurricane.
Yeah, yep. I don't even know if they have TVs at the hotel because it is in Amish country. There's an indoor pool.
Oh, that's helpful.
And there is an ice cream factory nearby.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Ice cream factory.
Yeah, Turkey Hill.
Okay. So, you tour it? Or you?
I guess. I don't know.
Is it like a brewery where you just, kind of sit there and eat?
Ice cream?
Eat the ice cream that they've just made?
I hope so. I don't care how they make it. I just care how it tastes. Big ice cream fan I am.
I feel like one time we went to a winery for one of our mutual friends' birthdays, and everyone else was not paying attention. Sean just enthralled with the process of the tour. He was the only person listening.
Yeah. I was also...
So I feel like you might like the tour.
Maybe that's true, yeah. That is, I did really enjoy that. I remember that day. We went to that winery for a friend's birthday, and I was also drinking wine out of a full bottle.
With a koozie on it.
Yeah, so the wine bottle had a koozie on the bottle. It was quite an interesting look. And I remember I was wearing a nice sweater. I looked very dignified while I was drinking wine out of a full bottle, which was nestled into a koozie.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It was efficient, yeah.
It was efficient, and it was cool.
Yeah, and you were the only person paying attention to the tour. So
yeah, I think it was because I felt bad for the guy. He was had to do this whole tour, and everyone else was really drunk, and I probably was too because I was drinking wine out of a whole bottle. But I felt like I should throw him a bone and act like I'm paying attention, ask questions.
Yeah. You were an active participant.
He probably just wanted to get it over with. Why does this guy keep asking questions? Who cares? He doesn't. I know he doesn't care.
Yeah.
All right.
But all right. Well, that'll be a fun weekend. So anyway, we couldn't record at our normal time. So
yeah,
maybe we should have just drank some beers at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to do. I do have one more consultation call.
You do
before I leave. So it'd be nice to get a little loosened up for the last one of the week.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Well, I'll get jacked up.
We do have some fridge beers right behind us.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how the initial.
For now, it's just Red Bull.
Right now, it's just Red Bull. I also have 2 Red Bulls, so that's good.
Perfect.
Let's get into this. Because we got a lot to cover.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Design week. So to reiterate what we did, we set up all of our design calls. People have been on a wait list for a lot of them up to a year. And what I did was I went back into our email and I made sure to look at when their initial contact with us was. So
before your call, you did that?
Before my call, so that I could cater my greeting based on how long they waited.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good call, because I think one of them, it was actually a new inquiry, and I meant to tell you that, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
That's okay.
But if you're looking, then you know.
If I'm looking, I know. So, a lot of them have been on the wait list for almost a year.
Yeah.
A couple of them over a year. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool that we had those interested clients that were willing to wait that long, and quite a few of them said, look, Sean, it's either you or it's nobody. We've been waiting for you. I said, no, that's really sweet.
That's nice.
That's very nice. So we did all of the consultations over the phone. We crammed them into 1 week. I was basically just sitting in the van in my captain's chair, taking notes, taking calls, and it went really well.
I agree.
I think it was really helpful to pack them all into 1 week, so I was just like in that mode.
Yeah.
I was really, my comedic timing was perfect with some of those great jokes. And you were also sitting there almost the whole time listening. So why don't you go over the whole process, because you can now do these consultation calls.
Well, I was only hearing one side of the conversation. I was only hearing you talk. They weren't on speakerphone, so I didn't hear their responses. Right. But yeah, you start off, which I think this is very good. You start off with the vision. Mm-hmm. And then you save budget talk for later, which I think that's good, because if you start off with budget, then they're always going to be looking for something to, downsize or be tentative about things. But you kind of get the whole vision, see what they really want, get them excited. You got some good jokes in there, some good banter, then you work into the budget talk at the end. Yeah. And these calls are thorough. They last like an hour.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone lasted an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, just about. And I think I've gotten pretty good at asking really good questions. Yeah. And I know that they're good questions because people's responses are like, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. That's a really good question. Mm-hmm. And I say, yeah, well, I've been doing this a little while. I've been honing my interviewee skills. Yep. Or interviewer skills. Yep. And so basically I always start off just, quick introduction, say things like, thank you so much for waiting for so long to be able to talk to us. We really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to hear more about the project. And at this point, I am sitting down in a nice comfy chair. I have my notebook out. I have pictures of their backyard, and I have a quick rundown of their initial wish list that they sent us. And I always start off, what do I say? You know what I say.
What?
Whatever ideas you got, just throw them out there.
Oh, just throw them at me. Don't worry about putting them in any order. I'll make sense of them and chime in with ideas when I have them.
There you go. That's the shtick. So basically we just start off and have them throw out every idea that they have. And by telling them to just throw out any ideas, any thoughts that you have about the backyard, whether it's, I want an area where I can just lay out and read a book. I encourage them to talk about the functionality and how they intend to use it. Not necessarily, I think people initially think that, when they get on a call like this, the ball's going to be in their court to be like, yeah, we want to step out to a deck and then, have an area to the right for this. Immediately I say, no, don't worry about that at all. Just talk about wish list items, features that you're looking for, and the intended function of the space.
Yeah.
I'll sift through all that stuff and I'll start to put together a layout that kind of makes sense. And then once we have the features, kind of a general idea of what an ideal layout's going to be, then we can get into that budget talk, which is the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your number one hard-hitting joke.
Oh, we'll wait to get into that.
Okay,
we'll wait to get into that because it's a good one. It's always a crowd pleaser. Always get some really, really just righteous laughs with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, and you're talking about the functionality, you always ask things like, how many people are in your immediate household?
Yep.
How do you intend on using this on a regular weeknight if it's just the family going out there? Are you going to grill? Are you going to just relax? Are you going to eat dinner out there? What about on a weekend when you have a little bit more people, your extended family? Will you have those people over? What about a party? So you always go through like the actual uses, which is great. And I think that a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
Most people are just like, I need to fill this space. I need a 20 by 20 deck because that's what the space is. And then you get into more of the, well, it's beneficial to have a tiered deck and things that lead out onto each other and all that stuff that people don't think about.
They don't, and it's because they've never done it before.
Yeah.
You know, so I always go into it with, in every aspect of it, like don't expect them to come to you with ideas or any sort of prior knowledge, especially when it comes to budget at the end. Like it's not their job to know what this should cost. And I feel like there's this feeling in the construction industry where when you go to a client and they say, I don't know what the budget should be, that the contractor thinks that they're like lying or trying to withhold information. Like, it's not their job to know how much this stuff costs. It's our job as the professional to like guide them through that process and let them know you're looking at a range from here to here. Let's get somewhere in a realistic ballpark, and then we can start putting something down in terms of a design, and then that gives us something to work off of.
Yeah.
You know,
what do you think that, like, okay, so we talked to however many people. What do you think the breakdown was of people who, because I know some people, like, actually had a budget, like, this is the amount of money that I have to spend on this project. And then some people were just like, I have no idea what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, so what do you think and not even saying, like, they're withholding information about how, like, nobody knows how much these things cost until you get a quote. So, not saying that, but, like, what do you think the breakdown was of people who had a set amount of what they were willing to spend versus the people that don't have any idea?
I'd say it was probably 50-50 with people that had some sort of range in mind. But they also, and some of those people, it was because at some point previously they had gotten some quotes. And the few people that had gotten quotes, it seemed like they reached out to us initially. We were like, we're completely booked for the year. You're going to have to wait like 9 months to be able to talk to us on the phone. Then they went out and maybe got a couple prices or designs or ideas from other people and decided after talking to other people, they still wanted to wait for us. So that's always really helpful if they can have a baseline. So, but that can still be such a wide range. Like one of the clients I talked to, they said, well, we got two prices for, similar structure, similar space. Obviously the features and the details were going to be a lot different because one contractor was at 50,000 and one was at 100,000. So it's a huge range. And that one had kind of defined parameters of where the structure could go. So it wasn't just like these two things were pretty much similar structure. So that gave the client a really good idea. They're like, well, I thought 100 was kind of high, and I thought 50 was maybe a little bit on the low side. So we're thinking somewhere in that range. So that's one way that they can get to a realistic number. The other clients were probably like the 50% just had no idea on budget. They just said, I really have no idea. I don't know where my head should be at with this. So that's where I start guiding them through the process of, okay, you're looking at starting at 75,000 for, anything that has a roof over it. Like that's going to be a big investment. You're looking at starting at 75. And I always like to err on the higher side, if anything, and give them like a range. The other 50% had some sort of range in mind, but out of all of the clients that I talked to, none of them said, this is my hard cap, don't show me anything over that.
Okay.
So even the people that had a range, I said, okay, well, we can go about the design process in two different ways. We can either establish like a hard cap that you don't want to go over, you don't want to see anything over that, and we can design up to it, or I've got all these ideas that you threw out at me. I've got a really good idea of how these could all be incorporated. Mm-hmm. I can draw this up and then just throw a number at you, and we can go about it that way and work from there. And everybody always elects that one. They want to see everything, all the ideas, and then work backwards from there. So, So that's kind of like the pricing conversation, how that goes down. And for the most part, it went really well. Nobody was like super shocked or blown away by the budgets that I was throwing out, which was good.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's because we've kind of primed them with projects start at this, typically they're this. So they've already kind of been walked through that on the website and that initial screening email, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we're pretty transparent. Like most of these people found you through social media. So if they're following in some capacity, we're pretty transparent with prices.
Yeah.
So if they've seen us talk about prices before on other projects, then they kind of can get an idea where it is.
And I feel like also our niche project, we've set that. What does our website say now as our project minimum? Does it say 50 or 50? It doesn't still say 30?
I changed it to 50.
Oh, okay.
It should say 50.
Yeah. I feel like whether it's 30, 50, like anything that's above, like if you can just set a project minimum at say like 10,000, I think that weeds out enough of those people. Like once people know, and the website also says most projects are between 75 and 150 or something.
I can't remember exactly, but I think it's that.
Yeah, it's like a pretty high range where if people are comfortable getting to that range, they're kind of willing to spend more. Like that is the biggest challenge, is getting them to something above 20 or 30 or 40. Like once they're in, okay, it's going to be 75 to 125. If we come back with a design that has all of these features that they were really looking for and it's at 150 or 175, like somebody that's willing to spend 100 to 125 is probably willing to spend 175 if you show them something really cool.
Yeah.
Something with a lot of features that hits everything they're looking for, and you can demonstrate like the value that they get out of it. They're getting extra functionality out of buying a full heater setup so they can use it all year.
Yeah.
If you can present value ideas like that into the design, you can sell them on something a lot higher.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are so functionality based that these people are really creating a space that like this is their forever home. They really want it to work for the long run. So they don't want to just kind of build something that's like, okay, well, we just need an outside space, we'll get it done. Like it's like a very forward thinking kind of project. Yeah.
And it's something, this is not like a necessity project. It's not I have a leaky roof, I need to fix it. It's a want.
Yeah.
So
luxury item.
Yeah, people are already in that mindset where it's like they're excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot easier to convince somebody to spend a lot more money when it's something that they're excited about and they want, as opposed to something that they need.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right, well.
What do you think?
I think it's enough on budget.
You think it's enough on budget?
I think it's enough on budget. So, all right, this is new. We crammed all these designs into 1 week. What lessons did you learn this week?
I would say that I was a little hesitant. I mean, I totally agreed to this approach. I was a little hesitant or scared just of being like overwhelmed by having all of this stuff packed into 1 week. But I think now that we're just about done, I only have one more design call today. It went really well. I think it went really well, and it was a huge benefit to like batch this stuff together. So it's like I kind of knew I was going to be out of pocket this week.
Yeah.
And I could tell everybody, hey, I'm going to be out of pocket this week.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be in the van right over here in the driveway. You guys are going to be in the backyard working. But I got calls all week. So
yep.
It not only like primed me for it, it put everybody else like they knew they're going to kind of be on their own this week. I'm going to be busy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be busy doing very important businessman stuff. So
very high level things.
High level business executive type of situations, all in phone calls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was very important stuff. Very important stuff.
Another one of your killer jokes, when you weren't on the phone, you just kept pretending you were on the phone. When I would try to talk to you, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I'd be like, Sean, blah, blah, and you're like, what? I'm on the phone.
Or I would ask you a question. Yeah, I would ask you a question. I'd say, Catherine, where are we on that email? And you'd say, what? And I'd say, I'm on the phone. I can't talk right now. Or I would just,
classic.
Yeah, when I wasn't on the call, I'd still have my AirPods in. I would walk around the backyard and I would say, yeah, okay, well, I don't care. Do you want the backyard or not? And Ant always gets a kick out of that. He always does. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
It is pretty fun. Yeah, it is pretty fun.
But yeah, I think this week went really well. I think I was a little worried about just the
compact nature of condensing all this stuff and
well, you're not a person who loves to sit still for a long time.
I'm not.
You like to be out and doing things, and you hop in and out of the van all day, and you're very hands-on with everything. So I was worried about you just feeling trapped like a demonized rat on these calls all day. Yeah. But I think it went really well.
Yeah, I was really hitting my stride, I think.
Yeah.
As the week went on, I feel like it was really good because you need to be in like a particular state of mind to be doing these calls. Like you need to be animated and excited and all that kind of stuff. So I think the calls at the beginning of the week really, like, I was excited about it. It was the first calls I'd done in a while. So that was like, I was naturally excited about it.
They got your A game?
Everybody did, because the people later in the week, I was maybe like a little bit just like going through the motions, but I was practiced.
Oh, you're primed and ready.
Yeah, I had tested out all my great material. I knew which ones were, 100% to get a laugh.
Right.
Knew all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just went really well batching them together, and I did all the notes on the rocketbook.
Oh yeah.
The new book. So, talked about it a little bit last week, but it's just it's a very intelligent notebook. It's basically just a regular notebook.
It's a regular notebook, yeah.
But it's erasable.
Yeah, which that blew. I was so confused about that. It's just like regular pages, but like they're like a little shiny, and then you can just wipe it off.
Yeah, with a damp rocket rag. So yeah, basically, I take my notes on there, and then there's like 5 icons on the bottom of each page, and you can just like put an X over one of the icons, and it comes with an app. And you set up each of those icons to be a different destination. So for this, we set up a Google Drive folder that said 2023 consultations.
Yeah.
I think it actually says 22. Well, should it be 23 because they're for 2023 or?
But it's happening.
But it's happening in 2022.
The phone consultations are happening.
Huh. Something to think about there. Yeah, we'll have to break that down.
We'll have to address that later.
Anywho. So we set up a Google Drive folder so I could just take extensive notes on everything that they said, which is really important when you're doing a lot of these because they can all blend together. You can forget little things they say. So I try to write as much as possible down.
Yeah.
Then just check that little icon on the bottom for the folder I set up, and you take a scan of it. It transcribes it, sends it directly to the cloud on the drive.
Yep.
It worked really, really well.
It was seamless. I was impressed with that.
I know, because normally I would be like, all right, take the notes. All right, well, I'll upload them later. I'll scan them later. And then, you know what happened one time? I lost the notebook.
Oh, the whole notebook.
The whole notebook was gone, yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
All right, yeah, so I love that thing. It worked great.
It did work really well, yeah. And it also is going to work really well for, like, I did the framing takeoff for our next project, and sometimes that can be confusing. Like, I'll do a framing takeoff on just like a random piece of paper that ends up getting lost somewhere, and then it's a month later that we actually get the order and we're starting to build it, and it's like, what did we order these 2x10 16s for? We got 16s and 20s. What are they for? I don't remember. Okay, well, let's just start using it. And then we end up being like, we're like short 2 20-footers. We shouldn't use those over there. So I can do that takeoff, and I set up another folder that says job notes, and I did that yesterday. Did a material takeoff, scanned it right into the cloud. It's there, so I can reference it and be like, oh, that's what I ordered those 16s for. They're going to go there, and everybody else also has access to that. So Rocketbook is doing some big things for us.
Yeah.
We should get sponsored by them, I guess.
We should, yeah. Rocketbook, call out.
Call us. Yeah.
Let's talk. Can you email from that app? Like, could you just like write your notes and then send it in an email?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know, and it'll transcribe your handwriting too, so you can like, you don't necessarily just need to like send a scanned picture of the notes. Like, you could set it to transcribe it, so it'll just write it in the body of an email.
Interesting.
And it works really well because I have horrible handwriting.
Ask that. Does it like it?
It works really well, yeah. Because at the top of the page, you can also do like whatever you want to name the document. You write that on top. So in this case, it was just the client's names. And you do double hashtag in front of it, double hashtag at the end of it. That's going to automatically know that that's what you want to title this document. That's really something. It's really good. Yeah, it's super simple, but they've really just done a couple things that made it super easy to use. The app's super easy to use. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. And we're not even sponsored by them or anything. I think that's enough about the Rocketbook and the note-taking process of this. Right. I wanted to touch on just a couple more questions that I get into with the client over the phone. Okay. Let's hear it. So, like you mentioned, one of the things that I like to ask after they have just thrown out all the ideas to me, I like to ask them, as you said, how many people are in the immediate family. So that's going to tell me on a normal weeknight, they're going to be the people that use it at least 75% of the time. Right. So we want to know how many people are in the family, and then how they see the family using it. Like, are you going to do a lot of outdoor dining? Like, do you want to have the whole family sitting outside to eat dinner together? So that's really important because a lot of the projects we do incorporate a roof structure, and we want to, since that is the most, the biggest part of the investment, we want to maximize the use of that space. So is dining going to be a big priority? Do you want to, section off at least 200 square feet of this covered structure for a dining space? Or is that not important? Is it going to be more informal where you just want comfortable seating and maybe bar stools and people are just going to like hang out there? So we like to get to the core of that. Next question is, okay, how many people, if you're going to have somebody, a couple people over on a Saturday night, what does that look like? Is it 6 to 8 people? Is it 10 to 12? Is it a lot of people? Do you have a huge extended family that comes over all the time that you need to accommodate 20 people? So that's really important because that's going to be between the immediate family and those, every weekend type of hangouts. Like between the two of those, that's 95% of the functionality of the space. That's really what we're designing around. And then we want to also ask, are there any big parties that you do? So a lot of people, it's like, maybe once a year. And that's not going to be a huge concern. Because one of the things that we like to do anyways, keep it nice and open and flowing. And that suits itself really well to large parties because people kind of just spread out. You just don't want to feel like you're creating traffic jams. So the only way that you want to make that a bigger part of the process or consideration is if they're like, every month we host this church gathering that's 75 people, or we do this, my son's in the Boy Scouts and we have all of them over every day. We have 100 Boy Scouts here every day. If it's something out of the ordinary that they do entertain a lot of people on a frequent basis, we put a little bit more thought into that. But I'd say pretty much every design that we've done, we haven't incorporated that to an extent where it's a main priority. Right. So those are some of the questions that we like to ask. Just get to the core of how they're going to use it and base it around, like an easy way to do it is base it around furniture. Ask them about outdoor dining. Like, you need to prioritize space for furniture setups. That's essentially the job. So you want to just get an idea of what type of furniture setups they want. Do they want, like, most people just want a comfy space to hang out and relax. Another super common want is they want a spot to sit outside and watch a football game. So usually it's a combination of comfortable couch seating, comfortable chairs, and then bar stool setup so that they can accommodate a little bit more people there, and everybody has a seat, but it's not super formal. So that's probably most of the questions, I think, based around functionality. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Like, those are at least like the starters, and you just let them talk, and that's it. That's really it.
Yeah.
That's your job. Let them talk.
Let them talk.
You
and
lead,
guide them.
Yeah, you're the guide, but they're doing the talking. You're taking notes, and you'd be surprised how much useful information you get out of that.
Yeah.
And don't go into it with the expectation that they should know anything. You are their guide.
Yeah.
You are their
You're
Yoda.
the expert.
Yeah. Guide you are. Okay. Should we hit them with the
hilarious joke?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the week, I just started incorporating it like whenever possible because it was making both of us laugh. Because I didn't really notice the frequency of which I said it until you were like, you brought it up. So the final part of the call, we've been on the call for probably at least a half an hour at this point.
Yep.
And I say, okay, well, now I guess we should get into budget. Have you thought about a comfortable budget? And most people say something like, well, we're not really sure. We don't want to spend too much, but we don't want to get boxed in, but we can't just spend $1 million. And then I hit them with the...
Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
Hit him with it.
Let him hear it.
Oh, yeah. I say, well, yeah, if I could just find clients that had no budget, make my job a lot easier. Haven't found them yet, but they start laughing. I chuckle in, and it just breaks down barriers is what that one does. And
it gets them every time.
It does, and especially towards the end of the week, whenever you were in the van and I would hit him with that, I would kind of look at you and do like a...
Yeah. Yep.
One of those,
the
like a laugh face. But they were doing a real laugh face over the phone. I could tell.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, this guy gets us. This guy gets us.
This guy's so real, but also hilarious.
So funny this guy is." So yeah, that's always a good way to. It really does work. It works to kind of disarm them and make them feel like, okay, budget's a concern to him. He's not just trying to bleed us dry here.
Yeah.
So. And it's important for us and for them to come to an understanding of a range that this is going to be in before we go into the design process, because I don't want to spend a ton of time doing a design that's just super unrealistic for them, that they're never going to be able to afford. And I also don't want to take $2,500 from them, which is the design fee, and then give them something that's not useful to them. So I want to get to a point where we come up with a range and I guide them through that. I say, based on these ideas, like, you're looking at starting between 75 and 100, but with a lot of these features that you're looking for, you could easily be at 150 or above. Make sure that they know where this could fall, and then ask them, do you have a hard cap? Do you want me to not design anything that goes above this? Most people say no, they want to see everything, but it doesn't do any good to avoid that budget conversation, because you're just wasting a lot of time. Like, I want them to know the range that this design is going to come back at, so they're expecting it,
right?
Because it can be like insulting if you don't bring it up and they're throwing out these huge ideas and you just think in your head, oh well, they have to know that this is going to be $200,000. They have no idea. They might be like, oh, this is probably going to be $50,000. And then you send them a design that you worked really hard on, and you send them the price of $200,000, and they're just like, "What? This is insane. This is insulting." And it can feel the same way for the designer that put all that time into it. Like, what do you mean? They think this only costs $50,000? What? That's so insulting to me.
Yeah.
But it's just really a miscommunication, and it's your job as the professional to set that expectation of what they should expect to pay.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think what I was hearing these conversations, I wasn't hearing what the people were saying, but judging from your side of the conversation, I remember you talking about fire pits and like the difference in price between just a wood burning fire pit, like a regular fire pit that's just stacked pavers, or like the difference when you actually have to run a gas line. Yeah. And I think that most people don't know. They're just like, oh, a gas fireplace, like probably just going to cost the same as one of those like fire tables or whatever, not knowing how much work goes into it.
Yep.
So that can be like your consumer doesn't know that. They wouldn't know all that goes into that. So yeah.
That's something that you need to coach them through.
Yeah. And explain. And if you're going to say like, oh yeah, if you just want to, a gas burning fire pit, it's going to be $8,000 or whatever. And someone's going to be like, what? That's like insane. You have to be able to say like, well, it's that much because...
Yeah, because we have to run a gas line to it.
Dig a trench, run a gas line, hire a plumber to do it.
Yep. Buy the burner, buy the ignition kit, buy all of that stuff. Just to run a gas line to a fire pit, you're looking at least $2,000. And that's if it's close to the meter. And most of the time, the plumbing costs for our projects are closer to like $3,000. And that's just for usually a fire pit and maybe a grill.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole lot of plumbing. It's pretty seemingly simple.
Yeah.
But the burners take a whole lot of BTUs. Like a standard one we do is 240,000 BTUs. So you need that plumbing cost, that's $3,000. And then by the time you do the burner, the tray, the ignition kit, all of that stuff, you're looking at just between plumbing and the parts, like $4,500. Then the labor of doing the trench and all that kind of stuff. It's an upgrade of at least $7,000.
Yeah.
Over just a wood burning one. So it's like you could get a wood burning one for $2,500 or a gas one for $8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
To some people, it's like, oh yeah, no brainer. That's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Other people are like, oh well, I kind of like wood burning fire pits anyway, so I'll save $6,000 to $8,000. Sure.
Yeah.
So those are important things to know going into it and be able to guide them. Same thing with heaters. A lot of people now are requesting they want infrared heaters outside so they can use it more times of the year. And I can easily just say, you're looking at $8,000 to $10,000 for a heater setup. Usually we're going to do either 2 or 4 heaters. It's a lot of electric. The heaters themselves cost like $800 or $900 a piece. Mm-hmm. So that's a simple thing that can help guide that budget talk of, okay, this is why we have this wide range. Like we could build this structure and it cost X. You add in a fireplace, a fire pit, and heaters, you just added $20,000.
Right.
And the layout and the square footage didn't change at all. So those are things that you need to know, and it's going to be different for every trade and every process. So make sure that you're expecting to go into it with that state of mind.
Yeah. And I think that's just so common knowledge to like us because we look at this stuff all day, but like the consumer just gets sticker shock from that kind of stuff. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And when it comes to sticker shock, I feel like it's best to throw out the high number first, and gauge their reaction. Because a lot of people aren't going to necessarily say like, you can just get a sense of whether they were expecting it to be that high.
Right.
Like I threw out a lot this week. I was like, you're looking at, somewhere around $150,000. And you can get a good sense of like how long the line is quiet.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can get a really good sense of what their realistic budget is going to be by just throwing out the high number, because I'd rather do that because I know that they're going to want the heaters. I know they're going to want the fireplace. I already know that they're going to want this. So I don't want to say, yeah, it's going to start at 75. We could do something for that. And then by the time they add in the outdoor kitchen and all this stuff that I already know that they want, I just say, you're looking at, somewhere around 150,000. And some people are like, okay, yeah, I was expecting it somewhere around there. And that's when it's super realistic. They have, their expectations of what they want and their budget are lining up. Mm-hmm. That's always a good place to start.
Yeah.
So, have we talked about design enough?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I mean, we have nailed this design season process, but now...
Yeah.
You're going to have to do the designs.
Oh, God, no. I thought it was over. I thought I was just making all this money. It was a great week because it's just like all I'm doing at this point is talking on the phone and charging $2,500. And what we're doing for that is on QuickBooks, just sending out an invoice online.
Yeah.
They can pay with a credit card. So this whole time, I haven't even been to their house or seen them in person.
Yep.
Just all over the phone, and they're, based on our reputation and all that, they're willing to pay $2,500.
Yeah.
So this week was a good money-making week.
It felt very profitable.
Now I have to do all the work, which if any of those clients are listening, I'm going to do it. Don't worry. You can trust me. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Talk on the phone for an hour, get paid $2,500.
Pretty cool, yeah.
But then I got to spend like many, many hours actually doing the design. So
yeah. So
but I like that part. That part's fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Then we got to build it.
Then, yeah.
Why can't I just talk on the phone and charge $2,500? Say end of day. That's it. That's it. I earned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
maybe we'll do another. We'll do a post recap once we get all the designs done and out and contracts are signed. We can do another whole recap on how that process went.
Because it's a long process. It's a long process.
And now you did the design calls, then you give yourself 4 weeks to do the design. But because all of the designs are in the same week, that means that all the due dates are at the same time. So
I'm going to get working on them ASAP.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump out ahead of it because
I feel like I'm going to be very annoying with you being like, Sean,
are you working on that design? That's why I bought a new computer. A new computer was going to incentivize me to get working on it. So I got a new computer for designs. I also got a new computer.
Yeah. How many new computers did you get?
I've been carrying around 3 computers in my book bag this week, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
My computer was pretty old. It was at least like 2 years old.
It was at least a year and a half old.
Yeah. So I got a new one for editing and all that kind of stuff, a Mac, and then the design program works on Windows. So I was doing it both on my Mac, and then you have to boot it up into a different operating system. It was a huge pain.
That actually does seem like a big pain.
It was a huge pain. And all the space was all jammed up. The memories were all clogged. So I had to get a new one. So now I have a PC and a Mac, and I can be editing while I'm working on design simultaneously. So it's going to be worth it.
You got 2 hands, you got 2 computers. Perfect.
Exactly. I actually have 3 computers now.
3 computers, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Enough of that. Okay. Enough of that. I think we've dove into that enough.
Yeah.
I think real quickly we can talk about the benefits situation for employees.
That's also topical.
How long? How much time we got? Where are we at?
We're at 42 minutes.
All right. So we'll just briefly touch on this. I think this could really be a whole nother episode.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
This could be a multi-episode series, but it's top of mind because just this morning I got off the phone with the 401k administrator, maybe? I don't know what their role is. The company that kind of facilitates the something. Okay. I don't know. It seemed legit. Don't worry. It seemed totally legit. But it's something that I've been wanting to do for at least a year or two, because do you think it's a good incentive as an employee? Yeah,
absolutely. I love it.
You love it? Okay. Yeah. So basically we are going to do an employer matched 401k, and it's up to 4%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You said 3 before. That's great.
Yeah. That's apparently we're still at the minimum. It's 3% matched dollar for dollar, and then it is half up to, I forget what. So basically, if you do 3%, we match 3%, whatever you contribute dollar for dollar.
Right.
The next 2% is we match 50% of it. So if you contribute 4% of your salary to your 401k, we would do 3.5%. If you do 5% of your salary, then we match up to 4%.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. By putting away 5% of your pay, you're really getting 9%.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's free money. Everybody should, if you have an employer match, you should be.
I wouldn't say free money.
Free for me.
It's 4% for me. But no, that's super important.
If your employer offers an employee match, you should definitely participate.
Because retirement, come up before you know it.
Yeah, and I feel like when I was in my 20s, I don't know if you felt this way, I didn't care or think about it, or I was like, I got all the time in the world. But then you look at like all the stats, if you start saving when you're like 18, 20, like in that area, like you're setting yourself up so much better than if you start in your 30s. Like it's
Yeah. When did you start?
I think I was 26 or 27 when I started putting into my 401k, which is too late.
Yeah, I should probably start.
You should probably start. Yeah.
See, the thing that freaks me out.
You save it other way, so it's not. That's
it just freaks me out that like I don't know. It gives me that feeling of being trapped like a demonized rat when it's like I'm putting away this money for something that far down the line.
Yeah.
I'd rather just put it into like regular investments that aren't as tax advantageable. But
that day's coming, whether you like it or not. That day is coming.
I'll never retire. I'll be when I'm 65, I'll be selling hover rounds or rascals or something to my buddies. I'll be hustling something.
Okay.
I just can't imagine being retired, but as part of this, that's why another reason I wanted to set it up, because I will be contributing as well. And I think my accountant said I can contribute up to like $20,000 a year to my 401k, being completely tax deductible, but that is through an employer setup. So for me to be able to do my max contribution, I had to set up this for all the employees. And it's also something that you have to offer it to all employees. Like you can't just offer it to certain people. If you set up an employer 401k contribution plan, you have to offer it to everybody indiscriminately. So depending on who wants to contribute to it, like it could be a bigger investment or not that big of an investment. And I think it might be a stereotype in the trades, but a lot of people that are tradespeople are like, I don't want to. No, I want the money now. Give it to me now. But I think it is a really good incentive to change people's outlook from a job to a career.
Yeah.
They're more invested in it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Invested, yeah.
Invested.
I think, and it's so much easier to just have it taken out of your paycheck and not even think about it rather than you doing it yourself. So having that advantage I love it. I love being hands off with it.
Yeah.
Because right now I am contributing to my own, and I'm always like, I would like this money.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, then it's like,
then it's not even there. Yeah. Great point. I think it's important for the trades to act more like it's a real professional career.
Yeah. For sure. You gotta save for stuff. It's important.
You do. And another thing is health insurance. We do offer health insurance as well, but maybe we shouldn't even get into that today. Maybe we do a whole nother episode on how to start providing benefits for your company.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I think it's a really, really good incentive. And a lot of people want to, especially health insurance, like people want to offer health insurance to their employees, but it can be difficult to like set up. You don't know how to navigate that. You don't know, what it's going to cost. And it's something that is really important to attract good employees long-term.
Yeah. It is a lot of work for the employer, and I feel like they make it purposely confusing, and it's expensive, and there's so many different plans and blah, blah, blah. But once you get it set up, it is like a worthwhile. Like an employer offering health insurance and for things like 401ks makes all the difference when attracting employees. Like if I had two job options on my plate that paid the same or whatever, or even slightly less, but they offered me a 401k and health insurance, you're going to go with that employer. So
that's true, because health insurance, like per person, it's like, I think everybody's average is around like $600 a month. So like that's like, imagine if you didn't have health insurance provided to your employees, that's $600 out of their pocket if they have to pay directly for their own plan. Tack on a 401k on top of that, it's like an extra, I don't know, I can't do the math. It's like an extra like at least $10,000 a year, right?
For what? Are you talking about individual, like the individual paying it, or for you, for your end?
Both. Somebody's got to pay for it either way.
Oh yeah.
So think about and really, I think like leverage that, like, and explain that to potential employees. Like, okay, this is the salary, but here's our benefit package, and you're going to have health insurance. You're going to have this 401k match. So if you do the full contribution of 5%, we're going to match up to 4%. Explain to them you're actually making more than the salary.
Right.
Use it as a recruitment tool.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
It is something
to think about.
All right. Well, we'll save that.
We'll save it.
That is a good topic.
And no offense, it's a little boring.
It's a bit dry.
It's so dry.
It's a bit dry.
Yeah.
Okay. Time for a secret question.
Secret question. Okay. Do you have one? Because I do, actually.
I do too.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I'm worried it's going to be the same one.
Oh, no. It's not.
Did you just think of it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
I had mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Mine's silly, though.
Okay.
Is yours serious or silly?
Mine's in between.
Okay.
A little bit of both.
Mine's silly.
Okay.
All right. Let's say.
Yes.
When you die.
Oh, no.
Your ghost is wearing the outfit you died in. What do you want your ghost outfit to be for the rest of your ghost eternity?
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, ABM, always be marketing, so it'd have to be a Premier Outdoor. Is that how it works, you think?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Which is a shame, though, because that means that I guess you, look... whenever you die, that's just you for eternity.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we die when we're so old and just but I'd want to be young again, you know?
Yeah, it's
Youthful
interesting.
and spry.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure about the exact scientific, analysis on how that actually works.
Yeah.
But seems legit.
Yeah.
I think just a nice pair of denim slacks.
Okay.
And it kind of ties in perfectly with what's my ideal temperature outfit scenario.
Yeah.
And it's jeans.
Okay.
And t-shirt.
Jeans, t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'd like.
A Premier t-shirt.
Premier t-shirt for
what
sure.
What kind of shoes you going with?
I think I'm gonna go with my work boots.
Work boots.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with my desert boots.
Desert work boots. Okay.
Yeah, my tactical.
They're that comfortable?
They're very
for eternity.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
They're very comfortable and they're very adaptable.
Okay.
So a lot of I could run in them. I could muck through ponds. Whatever.
Okay.
Very versatile. All right. So what's your ghost outfit?
My ghost outfit is going to be a crew neck sweatshirt, slightly oversized.
Okay. You don't think that's going to be out of style too quickly? That's too trendy.
No, a crew neck sweatshirt.
Eh.
They've always been in style. Princess Diana, you see her? She's wearing crew neck. She hasn't been alive for 20 years.
She's still wearing it though?
I think she probably is.
Probably, that's right.
Probably is.
Outfit. Okay.
So I'm going that. I'm going to go, I would say bike shorts, but with the fashion thing that might go out of style. Yeah, that's the thing. You wear a crew neck, a big oversized crew neck sweatshirt, bike shorts, but I'll say denim shorts because that seems more long lasting. And then probably these shoes that I'm wearing right now, these Nike high tops. My ghost outfit.
Okay.
That's pretty much my outfit all day now. So
if that's what you want, that's a weird out. That's like a.
Why is that weird? I'm okay. I'll go with a ball gown. I don't know. What do you mean?
I don't know. It just seems like it could go out of style pretty quickly. You're wearing jorts, an oversized crew neck, and high top Nikes.
I want comfortable. I want to be comfy.
Okay. Hey, whatever. That's your choice.
That's my choice as a ghost. That is my choice. I want comfort.
Choice. Okay. So a lot of people have this dream of retirement. They want to buy an RV and travel the country.
Yeah.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. What is your retirement dream goal?
Move on a boat and sail to the Bahamas.
And
done. That's it.
And then live there and stop?
No, you're on a boat. You can go wherever you want. But that's definitely where I'll spend most of my time, in the Bahamas.
Okay.
I'll come up here for hurricane season.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it seems dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, so just sail around. It's not okay, I'm going to get a boat, sail to the Bahamas, retirement goal, done, immediately die. It's to have a boat and travel around freely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say most of my time in the Bahamas, that would be my central location, and then I would just travel around from there.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what's yours? Rascal salesman?
Probably rascal hover around type of situation. I honestly, I cannot think of, I can't even possibly imagine being retired.
Okay.
I don't know. What would I do? I can't, no. I can't, I'm not a good putzer. I can't just putz around.
That is true. You are not a good putzer.
I mean, I'm pretty good at putzing, but I need a I can't just meanderingly putz. I need to have at least a sense of purpose. Like from the outside, it can look like I'm just putzing around doing nothing. But in my mind, I'm doing high level, very important businessman stuff.
Right.
I just can't possibly imagine not working or just like not doing something. I don't know.
Okay.
What would I do for enjoyment? I don't know.
I think that's something you have to figure out for yourself, Sean.
I think so, yeah. I think I'm too much of an anxious person to be able to just like relax for the sake of relaxation.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. I feel like if I'm not doing something with purpose, that I am wasting time.
Yeah. Maybe that'll change as I get older.
You just got to pick something. Like in my vision, like sailing and traveling would be a ton of work. So I think that that's where like my redirected focus would be. I would just constantly be working on sailing. And on a boat, you constantly have to fix things. So I chose like a working thing. Okay. So you just got to find what your working thing is.
Yeah. I couldn't just like sit around. Like some people just like, oh, I go to the diner every morning. And, you know, I couldn't do that. I definitely couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that changes as you get older. Probably. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But I really can't even possibly, even if it's just like, you know, some sort of like passion project / business type of situation.
Maybe you'll become like a business mentor coach and you coach other people on business things.
Yeah.
Like you're more hands off because you're not actually building anymore, but you can coach the youth or something.
Yeah. I could like go around and teach my old school business habits at that point. Like,
yeah, they will be outdated.
On the internet. Like, the internet hasn't been around for 40 years, Grandpa. We use the nuclear
you need to get on
wireless web. TikTok? What are you talking about? You crazy old man.
All right, well, I think that's something you're going to have to think of for yourself.
Yeah, I think it should be.
And you are late for a call, so we have to wrap this
I have my
up.
last call. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed us kind of like venting and listening to our own lessons that we learned about design season. Yes. And we'll have more updates as we go through the process. You know, we'll have contracts coming up. We'll have all that kind of stuff. It's going to be so exciting. So stay tuned for that. If you have a chance, leave us a 5-star review.
Yep.
Next week, we'll have another exciting episode for you. So till then, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.